Thane. I'm the staff of TISSking, and today I welcome you all to the TISS workshop conducted by Pravin Venkat and Shantam Kanungo. So I just like to introduce yourself first. So please tell something about yourself.
Yeah. Hi all. I'm Pravin Venkat. I'm from Hyderabad. I'm a computer science engineer. I worked in Cognizant Technology Solutions as a programmer analyst. I've also worked as a training manager in a corporate training firm. I'm a first year TISS Odcl student. Over to you, Shanta.
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. So my name is Shantam Karungo and I'm from Khandwa, Madhya Pradesh. So I'm a mechanical engineer and I used to previously work with Tata Consultancy Services as a system engineer. So before joining TISS, I was working with TCS and I'm currently pursuing my MA ODCL from TISS and I'm a first year student here.
Okay, so how did you prepare for your TISS exam?
Yeah, so for me, the journey for TISS started like I always wanted to study from TISS, and this course gave me that opportunity to pursue a master's degree from TISS. So my preparation began with charting out a preparation strategy. Basically, for each subject, I devoted initial 1 month for basic preparation for each subject, and then I tracked my progress with attempting few questions, timed questions, and then as the exam came near, I also attempted few mocks, which helped me to prepare for the exam. So this was basically my preparation strategy for the exam.
Okay, and can you just elaborate about your preparations with GK strategy and TISS exam?
Sure. So for GK, I referred few of the top newspapers which cover the current affairs. So like the Hindu or Indian Express, where most of the current affairs or articles are there. There are also few online compilations of current affairs. So I also referred those compilations. And apart from this, there are some standard GK books for government entrance, government job examinations, as well as some B school entrance examinations and I refer to those books for GK preparation.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on that, Pravin sir?
So I haven't followed as much as a rigorous schedule as Shantam has did. I had always had a habit of reading newspapers. So I used to read newspapers thoroughly due to my general interest. So I worked mostly on my quant and English. So with a planned strategy, right, with a limited time which I have, I made sure that I worked on my weaknesses more as the D-Day approach. And I also have taken few mocks just to make sure that, right, I'm going in the right direction. So this has been my preparation strategy.
Okay, so there's a question from Prasad over here. He's asking that is 1 month enough for TISS preparations?
Yeah, 1 month, I would say, right, it's a bit late to start, but with the proper planning and everything, it can be cracked easily. So what he needs to do, I would suggest is that, right, identify his strengths and weaknesses. If his weakness is taking much more time, it's always better to take help from their peers and also any coaching institute as such, which can improve his process of learning and will enable him to crack this TISSNET exam. Shantam, you have anything to add?
Yeah, just one thing to add, like if he has already attempted any other B school examination, so he must have already prepared for English and quant. So his preparation would already be at the basic level for TISSNET. What he just needs to focus on right now is on GK, because that is the game changer section for TISSNET. So just charting out a basic strategy for this 1 month, giving adequate time for each section every day, and then attempting those mocks can help him crack the exam.
Okay, and you want to elaborate something on the interview after the examination?
Yeah, means we can focus, but I would suggest that interview is the next step, because interview is again a separate process for TISS entrance, and it again requires different approach, because it comprises of filling out the detailed application form and then preparing for, as the process was last year, it comprised of extempore and then online personal interview. So it in itself, it's a different process and it requires a different approach. But I would suggest that currently aspirants should basically focus on TISSNET and cracking that TISSNET and try to score as many marks as they can so that they are eligible for the top-notch courses at TISS.
Okay, then why did you opt for TISS and specifically ODCL program?
Praveen, would you like to go
Yeah.
first? Yeah.
So the diversity which TISS offers solely intrigued me initially, because this is not any other B schools kind of a thing, a management course. Here we have other 50 courses. So we get a opportunity to interact with the peers from other groups as well, pursuing other MA courses. So our perspectives also would improve. And this is a social science institute. So we also have a social responsibility of the institute. The institute is there. So this value I also personally connected with. And the fact, when coming to the ODCL part, I've worked in different organizations, from a small organization to a MNC. So I wanted to know the journey, how a small organization grows into a big organization. This curiosity intrigued me to pursue this course.
Okay, then you want to elaborate something on it, Shantam?
Yeah, sure. So for me, actually, TISS attracted me because of its major emphasis on the social sciences. So because TISS has this unique teaching pedagogy where the institute inspires their students to give back to society. So this is what always attracted me, because there are other institutions which offer very lucrative courses with very good placements, but then there is TISS, where we get both the aspects fulfilled. Like we get a good career after graduating from TISS, as well as we also get this get that sense of fulfillment, because we know like how the course has prepared us to give back to society by pursuing our career. So this was one of the factor which attracted me. And not to say, but all the things which Praveen has already covered, like the TISS diversity and its values, so those are other things which attracted me. And specifically for ODCL program, I worked, as I said, I worked with TCS previously, and TCS is one such big MNC with a huge employee base. And this is what always generated a curiosity in me, like how such a big organization functions and how it every day progresses, and how they manage to grow each day. So this is what always excited me, and then this course offered me that opportunity to learn how to make an organization grow and how to resolve their problems. So this is what made me pursue this course here at TISS.
Okay, so there's just one question from Omkar. He is asking that were you totally focused on TISSNET, or else you gave previous examinations like CAT or CT?
So for me, actually, I took decision to pursue management a bit late, so I missed CAT examination for that year. But giving by that, I then focused basically on TISSNET only. And because this was one such premier institute, and as I said, like I always wanted to pursue one course from TISS. So I then basically devoted all my focus and attention to TISSNET.
The same goes with me as well. I also was focused only on TISSNET. I haven't given any other prior exams.
By the way, how is the TISS HR program different from the ODCL program?
So if we come at a curriculum level, right, or at a functional level, HR is basically a function, any other function which all the organizations have. Like you have finance, you have marketing, you have operations. Similarly, HR is also an essential business function. Whereas OD is a process which can be applied to any of this business function. If I can tell you briefly about OD, OD is a planned process of change through the application of behavioral sciences to create organizational change. I can briefly tell to the audience, right, how an OD consultant works. So I'll make use of an analogy of a doctor and a coach to elaborate it further. So imagine a situation of a 5-year-old kid going to a doctor. So what the doctor does initially, he makes sure that, right, the child is comfortable. He asks about his name, the class which he's studying, the school, his favorite cartoon character. Once the rapport is built, he quickly conducts the temperature checks and also pulse checks as well. Then depending upon this, he further refers to further diagnostic tests. Similar things an OD consultant also does. So first, initially, he builds the rapport and trust with the client. Then he gets to know more about his vision, the goals which he has for his organization, the present working of the organizations. Then OD consultant also make use of diagnostic tool like Nadler-Tushman congruence model, Burke-Letwin model, Bolman and Deal-Forfray model. By making use of these tools, he comes to know the root of the problem. Once the root of the problem is identified, now OD consultant dons the hat of a coach. Now he gives the feedback to the client, the areas where the client is lacking and where he can improve upon. And he gives an action plan by which the client can achieve the goals as well. So OD is a more of a consulting process whereby which we identify the problems and also collaborate with the client to solve those problems.
Okay, so can you just give us an idea about the test paper pattern? I think the test paper pattern has been changed, right?
No, I don't think the paper pattern has changed as such. It remains similar like it happened previous year. The only thing what is different this year is the administration has not yet declared about the second stage of the process. So they have, as of now, they have just declared about the TISSNET. The vagueness remains about how the second stage would go. So, but what we can assume as of now is that the online personal interview component will still be there. But about the TISSNET, we can't say anything surely.
Okay, so like what were the cutoff for ODCL program via TestNet?
Yeah, so for previous year, the TISSNET cutoff for ODCL course was around 64. And if we come about the overall merit list, then it was the cumulative and aggregated score was somewhere around 68, comprising of all the stages. So the weightage
Okay.
last year was 50% on TISSNET and 50% on the online assessments.
Okay, then how did your job experience, like obviously you must be having a candidate or fresher with you, and how did your job experience help your process to get into TestNet?
So as I already mentioned that the minimum eligibility for this course is basically 2 years of work experience. So if we consider about the online assessment process, so there were no candidates who were freshers. So each candidate was coming with a bag of experience with them. But for me, my work experience with TCS helped me understand like how the OD means, not exactly how the OD process, because obviously if I'm pursuing the course, I wouldn't have been knowing the course before. But yeah, for me, actually that experience helped. Being working in an MNC, it helped me to understand the various organizational functions and then how each function works and then how they implement certain processes. So that helped me to answer those questions in the interview.
Just adding on to what Shantam has said, right? This is a unique aspect of our program where 2 years mandatory work is required. This is if you look at the top global programs, MBA programs also, they also have a mandate of a work experience. The reason being, with the work experience, you can learn the subject at more depth. You will kind of relate with the previous work experiences as well. If you take in our class, for instance, we have professionals who have worked in merchant navy, but the professionals who have experience in social sector, a person who have worked as a Chinese translator, the person who has a marketing background. So when these people who had different professional journeys, so they view their life in their own way. When these people all come together, when they have interactions, when they solve problems, each has a different view of solving the problems as such. So that at the end of the day, all the peers would have an enhanced view of viewing the problems and have a unique vantage point in approaching the problems as well.
Okay, then I have few questions over here. Brunel is asking you that any field work experience will be okay for applying the course, or it's like a specific work experience is needed?
No, a work experience in any field is applicable, be it social sector, be it IT, be it construction. Any sector, 2 years of work experience is fine to join this course.
And is it like a finance guy can apply for this?
Yeah, finance guy also with 2 years of work experience can apply. We even have a course on finance in our first semester.
And what do you want to say for freshers especially?
As we already discussed, right, this course is not for freshers. Only people with minimum of 2 years work experience are eligible for this course.
Okay, so I have one more question. It was regarding TISSMAT exam. You have any idea whether TISSMAT is going to happen this year or not?
So there is no update from the administration about TISSMAT as of now. So that remains a question. but I just request every aspirant or candidate to keep checking the website regularly if the administration declares anything about the process.
Okay, then you have something to elaborate on this session?
Yeah, so I would basically would like to take questions from aspirants if they have any specific questions about the course, about the career prospects, or about the placements. So if they have any specific questions about the course curriculum, what are the job roles offered after the course, what are the placement statistics? So we are open to take questions on those topics.
Okay, then I think regarding the placement, they were asking that what average salary can they expect after the placement?
I'll quickly share a screen so that all the aspirants have a good view of it.
Yeah. So this year we have had a very great placement. Although this course had started just 3 years back, this course has been regularly gaining traction around the industry, and we have been getting recognition all around. And slowly and steadily, our course has been progressing in terms of placements. And this year we have seen a great jump in terms of placement. So as I hope the screen is visible to the audience. So as we can see at the screen, the highest CTC at this year's placement stood at 42.09 LPA, and the average stood at 25.4 LPA, while the median was around 24 LPA. And if we see at the bottom, we can also notice about the year-on-year growth in average CTC. So when the course started for the first batch, the average was around 17.05 LPA, which then increased in the next year to 18.17 LPA. And this year we have seen a jump of 40% in the average, and it currently stands at 25.4 LPA. So this is how our final placements have been going on from the past 3 years, and it has been regularly increasing because the course has been gaining recognition, and we are optimistic that the course will gain even greater heights in the future.
Okay, then there's a question. Is there any international placements also?
No, so I think for now there has been no international placements, but we have such some great brands associated with us. So Praveen, if you could just move one slide. Yeah, so these are some of the great brands who have associated with us for placements. So you can see there are certain great brands.
Okay,
And one
yeah.
more slide, Praveen, if you could just change, we can also show the aspirants about how the sector-wise placements have been. So as you can see, and as this course, Praveen has already mentioned that this course specifically prepares candidates for a job role in consulting. So this year we have seen that 65% of the batch has been placed in consulting sector, while pharma stood at 13% and manufacturing at 9%. While most of the profiles which were the prominent profiles which were offered were around the job domains of change management consultant, human resource strategy, human resource business partner, L&D partner, as well as workforce transformation partner. So these were some of the prominent profiles which were offered to the candidates this year.
Okay, then can you just elaborate? Like there are many questions regarding this paper pattern. So I just want you to elaborate more on paper pattern.
Sure. So yeah, so this is the TISSNET structure basically. So TISSNET is one exam where we have 100 questions which needs to be attempted in 100 minutes. So one basic feature about TISSNET, which is always a great feature to have, is like this examination does not have a negative marking, and each question has 1 mark for it for a correct answer. So the general breakup of the examination is like there would be 100 questions where 40 questions would be from the general awareness section. For this section specifically, there would be a sectional cutoff of 35%, which is 14 marks. Then there would be 30 questions from the maths or apti section and 30 questions from the English section. So both of these two sections, the quantitative aptitude and English proficiency sections, won't have any sectional cutoffs. The sectional cutoff is there only for the general awareness section. So this is the general structure of the TISSNET examination.
Okay, then there's a question regarding how did you prepare for the GK part in TestNet? Like which material did you use? What are the things which you preferred?
So as I have already mentioned that there are various standard books available in the market. for specifically for bank PO examinations as well as for different B school entrance examinations. So those books cover pretty much the syllabus for TISSNET. While there are various GK compilations for current affairs, so aspirants can refer to those compilations for referring to the current affairs section.
Okay, and there was a question that, can you please elaborate on social entrepreneurship course if you have any idea about it?
Yeah, so this is another great course in TISS, but I would suggest aspirants to go through the course website once to understand what the course has to offer and what are the different subjects which would be taught as part of the 2-year program. So that would help them gain some understanding about the course. And if they have any other queries about the course, they can refer or contact any student already pursuing that course through LinkedIn or any other social media platforms, because that will help them to gain insider understanding of the course, because we have been studying in ODCL, so we could only give them about a high level understanding. But if they want to gain some insider understanding, they can approach any of the current students of that program.
Okay, and how much TISS gives important to the profile and the academics after the examination?
So Praveen, would you like to take that?
Yeah. So TISS compared to any other B schools, right? We don't have any explicit weightage for a profile as such. No explicit weightage for academic marks. You're coming from a great undergraduate college, great work experience, that will be always an add-on. But in TISS, we do not discriminate based on your undergraduate percentages or the college where you have been. Solely depend upon your TISSNET score and how much you can relate to the course which you are pursuing and your performance in OPA. Even people with gap years also can apply for this course, because TISS as an institute does not discriminate on these factors as well.
Okay, then anything else you want to elaborate on this structures and all, or else on your placements, or else on your slide?
So Shantanu you can briefly describe about the life in TISS.
Yeah, sure. So we could also show them like how the process has been from previous year for the testnet. So if you could move one slide above. So this has been the selection process from previous years. So the exam generally comprised of 3 stages. The first stage at testnet, the second stage at testmat, and the third stage at online assessment. So the previous year, due to COVID situation, testmat was not conducted. So the examination got limited to 2 stages, the first being testnet and the second being online assessment. Then in online assessment, one new component was introduced, which was the extempore segment. So extempore and online personal interviews were there as part of the second stage, and each stage was given a weightage of 50% previous year. For this year, as of now, we only know about testnet, and we could say that the online assessment part would online personal interview part at least will be there, but for testnet we can't say surely anything. There has to be any update from administration about the second stage. So this is the general selection process for test. Now, if we come to the life at TISS, so TISS is a different universe in itself. So being one university with more than 50 courses, and each course in a different domain where students come from various backgrounds. So it offers a different learning experience to the candidates. Then coming to life at TISS ODCL. So at TISS ODCL, we have various functions, programs, master classes organized regularly. So few of these programs I would like to highlight are Samagam, Transcendence, and ODX. So Samagam is our annual alumni meet where we gather around with our alumni from the executive and the MA regular batches. So this is one such event where we get to interact with our alumni, get their insights about the industries where they have been working on, and then also listen to their experiences, gain some learnings from them. So this is one such interactive event. Then we have Transcendence, which is kind of a cultural plus guest speaker session for us, where we get some dignitaries who come to our campus and speak on various topics, share their experiences and learnings, as well as we also have certain fun events in Transcendence. Then there is ODX, which is one such platform where we get some international as well as highly reputed dignitaries who come and address our students on their experiences. So ODX is one such talk event. So we generally arrange ODX every first Friday of every odd month. So few of the dignitaries I would like to highlight here is Mr. Arun Maira, who have recently came to our virtual campus to address our students. So Mr. Arun Maira was the ex-member of Planning Commission of India, and he was also the ex-chairman of BCG India. We also had the privilege to host Mr. Kim Cameron. So these are few of the dignitaries who have attended our virtual campus to address the students on their experiences. So this is life at TISS, and we hope that the aspirants get to experience this life at TISS. Yeah. And Praveen, if you could just move one more slide. So if the last slide, please. Yeah. So if the aspirants could follow us, our program on various social media platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Pagal Guy. So they could readily post their queries or any of the questions there. We also have our aspirant relations team who has their Telegram group. So aspirants could join those groups and their Facebook and LinkedIn pages to get their queries answered by the team about the TISSNET preparation as well as the selection process. So we would be readily readily available to help the aspirants about any of their queries. Yeah, so if there is anything else.
Okay, then what is the student strength in ODCL course, sir?
Yeah, so the intake for ODCL course is 34 seats. So the ODCL program accepts 34 candidates.
And what are the roles offered after the ODCL program?
Yeah, Praveen, would you like to take this?
After the program, as you have seen in the placement report as well, 65% of the roles were offered in change management consultants. Apart from the consulting roles, we also have as a HR strategy partner, HR business partner, and learning and development partner as well. So these are the main roles which are offered to the candidates in the last year.
Okay, then I think it was a good session and all the information given via. So I'm just searching for some questions. Students, do you have some questions? Then please chat. We will just wait for some time if they want to ask any questions, and then we will just end the session, okay? Okay, so there's a question that experience required just for the degree or else total experience is considered?
Yeah, so regarding work experience, so it is the work experience is considered after your bachelor's degree. So it should be a professional working experience in any sector, be it public sector or a private sector or a self-owned business, family-owned business. So it should be a formal professional working experience after your bachelor's degree. And the work experience should be not less than 24 months as of 1st of May 2022. So
Okay.
the aspirants need to be eligible, like they need to produce their document related to their work experience, which should fulfill the eligibility criteria as of 1st of May.
Okay, then I think the questions have been ended over here. And it was a good session overall. Thanks for having you over here. And thank you very much. You're at the meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I would also say that all the best to the aspirants who are aspiring for this course. Hope to see you on the other side. If you have any other queries post the session also, you can always reach out to the social media handles, which we have showed earlier as well. We have a great art team who are always in help of the aspirants, any queries which they have. All the best.
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
I also give my best wishes to the aspirants. Hope to see you on the other side. And do post your queries on our social media platforms or try to approach our aspirant relations team. We will be really happy to help you. Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.